You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is luca-Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Hello everybody, this is luca-Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Broadcasting today, as usually, from Kingman Folsom Force. We are located 3001 Stockton Hill Road, North, Unit number 1, Kingman, Arizona. Alright, today's topic, or at least part of the topic of the show, is going to be about guns, gun rights. The show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. And without guns, there is no freedom. That's the bottom line. I already talked to you about, during the show, pretty much the trend that's happening right now all over the country about violation of rights. And it's like a globalist plan. I mean, look what happened already in Canada. They're destroying the country piece by piece, the sovereignty of the country, and of course now any type of reminiscences of gun rights, they're gone. Even never really had rights. You know, in Canada it's still under the crown, so they have, or they had at least, privileges. Even not those, there will be anymore. But now here in Arizona, what is supposed to be, and it is, according also to Guns and Ammo, the number one state about gun rights, we are under assault, we are under attack. Yes, coming straight from the governor of Arizona desk, and of course not just him, but he's the one that's been leading the way. They try to pass this sort of legislation that it is exactly what it is, the nightmare of freedom. It is not just about against the Second Amendment. It is also against the old Bill of Rights. If you believe that we're supposed to have a due process, and means we're all innocent until proven guilty, and means guilty means that you need to have a chance to face the accusers, a chance to face a judge, a trial, and then finally, if you're found guilty, yeah, you will pay the consequences. But you cannot be just start to be denied your rights according, to this type of legislation they try to pass in Arizona. They will try to deny the rights to keep and bear arms just because somebody maybe doesn't feel comfortable with you or doesn't like you. And they don't even need to, show their names. It's kind of a completely secrecy, and more important, there is no due process. They can take the guns first, as President Trump said, and then we can talk. Think about it. That is very, very scary. Now, I have with me an old friend that is involved into this, and when I mean involved, is aware of what's going on, and he wants to do his part as a regular person, as a citizen of the state of Arizona. So his name is Ace, and first of all, let me bring him on. Ace, how are you today?
I'm doing just fine, Luca. I'm getting to spend time with an old friend. All
right. Listen, I like what you're doing because, first of all, not only you're informed about this situation with the legislation that they try to pass in Arizona about the anti-gun rights, but also I like the fact that you are active. You call the man, in this case, the Arizona governor that is pretty much behind all this, and you try to be also active in informing the people of Arizona. So let's give, first of all, a short summary. What is exactly about this legislation and why it's so dangerous to Arizona, people in Arizona that believe in freedom?
Well, first off, they're using a hot button issue. The governor claims this is about school safety, but just like the asset forfeiture laws, it violates another complete section of our Constitution. As you pointed out, our right to due process, to have our day in court before we're tried and convicted just because somebody says so. Just because I don't like you, Luca, and guess what? I'm gonna tell the police that you're a dangerous man. And voila, pretty quick, they're knocking at your door. They come into your business, and they're going to take all of your firearms.
Exactly. This is
And then you, to fix this, you have to go hire an attorney, and you have to put it into the due process situation out of your own pocket.
This is exactly the way it is. And by the way, this type of legislation has already been happening. It is not just a conspiracy. Look in Florida, they already had it, and they already been enforcing it. And people, by the way, some people have been died, been killed, okay? And this is so bad. This is so bad because now is a trend. They're trying to do this almost everywhere. That's the goal. And my always question is, these governors, are they really independent? That means they're just thinking with their brain, or maybe they're following some sort of directives. Because I see now the trend when it comes down to these gun controls, that they are completely tyrannical acts, by the way, completely in violation of every part of our Constitution, Bill of Rights. There are no accidents. They are going through the same motion, state by state, almost in a synchronization. What do you think? It's just some sort of somebody tried to please part of the voters, or maybe there is an agenda behind, like disarming the American people state by state?
Well, you know, our last president, who served 2 terms, there were over 160 mass shootings, far more than any other president under any other president. And I don't think that was just what was happening. It wasn't a natural thing. I think that was pushed. And to set up this agenda, to protect our children in our schools, to protect ourselves in public, this is what they're pushing. They're pushing this as a safety issue. And in Arizona, we don't see those types of things the way you do in California or virtually anywhere else these things happen. So, as you said, there's something more behind this effort. And all of it's being pushed by non-governmental organizations.
Exactly. And let's not forget also the Bloomberg of this world. By the way, they are just the face. We know Bloomberg because he's the face, the sponsor of all these type of, let's say, voters or, referendums, populist, movements that they try to, through democracy, the 51% of the sheeple try to steal the rights of the 49, But I think, beside the face that we know, like George Soros is the face, there are very much more powerful forces behind that we are not allowed to see. But the point, there is the plan. Look now at worldwide. In Canada next door, Canada now, even they had different type of, laws. They are not under Constitution, Bill of Rights. They're still under the Crown. And the gun right really is not a right, it's a privilege. But even with the limit, with the type of regulations they had, now there is really coming through right now in Canada a complete ban on all semi-automatic and all handguns. I mean, this is out of a complete tyrannical book. Why? Look what they're doing now in Canada. They realize that billions of dollars being denied to veterans and to the Canadians, but meanwhile they had to pay for carbon taxes and they had to loan money to 150 countries around the world while they are in complete debt. I mean, this is a complete destruction of a sovereign nation, and Mr. Trudeau is the face, of course, of the global citizen that he thinks he is, but the reality is that Canadians, now they are kind of concerned that they may start to maybe revolt, and that's what I think they're coming to us. That's why they're really so desperate to get through these gun control laws. Now, it's all connected, in my opinion. What do you think about the fact that we are right now 2 years under President Trump? We know very well that Mrs. Clinton, and not just her, I mean, people like Eric Holder, former Attorney General, and many other people like, FBI top managements, agents, they've been found in complete violation of laws, completely lying under oath, things that any one of us would have been at least charged with many type of potential offenses. Instead, these people, they are completely free. Meanwhile, people close to Trump, they cannot even have a chance to have a basic, human treatment. Look what happened to Roger Stone. I mean, he was treated like Osama bin Laden, okay? I mean, that's reality is, if Trump cannot do anything right now, that is the president, and controls the executive branch, in this case the Department of Justice, and of course the FBI, are we under coup or not? Or maybe Trump is part of the coup. What do you think?
Well, you know, a lot of people have said that we're headed for a civil war. This is the foundations of that have been going on for decades. I've watched it throughout my adult life, and it is a divide and conquer. You have people that know the Constitution, understand what it means. It was written simply by men who wanted everybody that could read and understand English to understand what they gave us. And there's people that want to control everything we do in our lives. You mentioned in Canada they're trying to get rid of all semi-automatics and handguns. Well, those efforts have been proposed in other states. California, Oregon, now I saw that there was an effort there to get rid of even older style semi-automatics that only had 7-round clips, magazines with them. So there's an undercurrent here of people, mostly non-governmental organizations, that have been pushing this agenda to limit our freedoms, take our weapons, tax us everywhere they can and any way they can, and promote a social agenda that is counter to all the values of this great nation that has saved the world from itself.
Yeah, and this is exactly, I really believe that America, even with these, imperfections, after all, we are humans and nothing's perfect. But the point is, we are still the last stand between complete control, total control, and global tyranny. Because the point is, what is between them and us is this piece of paper that is not a piece of paper. It's the foundation of our country. It's supposed to be the supreme law of the land. It's called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And I tell you, coming from Italy, coming also being able to see other countries, no other country has that document that people before us had to fight and died for that. We don't have to. All we have to do, we're supposed to preserve it. But unfortunately, the reality is this, that the Constitution doesn't defend itself, doesn't enforce itself. If the people that are supposed to take an oath to enforce it, like our public servants, our politicians,
Justice Department, politicians,
everybody that's supposed to take an oath in front of the Constitution, they are completely lying and say, screw that, look what they're doing, all of them now. Who is left? It's us. That's the reality. And I say, fortunately and unfortunately, the reality is this. There is no Captain America coming down on a white horse, coming down to help us. And I tell you, more and more I realize that we are going to face that. Now, coming back to the activism, what can we do to try to maybe send a message to the legislators in Phoenix, and especially to the congressmen, to the Arizona governor, about this piece of legislation that is trying to pass to try to deny gun rights to anybody that supposedly could be, just because somebody doesn't like maybe their opinion or just their attitude or whatever, without due process, take guns away from law-abiding people. And I always say law-abiding means that you are guilty only after you've been found guilty. So you're innocent until proven guilty. So that's the way they're going to try to completely distort this. You're going to be guilty before even you have a due process. So what can we do? We can. What is your idea?
Well, we have to. First off, we have to inform the public through whatever means we can devise, and we need to come up with a petition. I'm hoping we can find the help we need to get that going through various organizations. Arizona Citizen Defense League is one that I've contacted, and put these people on notice that this is an unconstitutional act that they are contemplating burdening us with. Like I said before, the asset forfeiture laws also deny us our due process. And we need to tell these people, if they pursue this and enact this, that we will push a recall effort. And we will get noisy, and we will become, as you say, activists who are active.
Speaking about acting, let me get my cell phone. Let me call him right now. Okay, this is, by the way, normally I record from my studio microphone. This is a live setup, kind of rough, but guess what? It's going to do the job. So right now, let me call 1 second the 800. No, there is no 800 number. It's just a 602, but that's okay. We still pay for the call anyway. Let me call here the office. And let's see if we can find somebody right now. By the way, this show is recorded right now. This interview is recorded. Let me see if we can get somebody. All right, Arizona, Governor, 602. Then we have 602. Then we have, 1 second. I'm doing all this, by the way, as I talk, okay? No pre-recording. 542-4331. Let's see if they answer. Let me put speakerphone. Normally I got a little more high-tech.
Thank you for calling the office of Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. Office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, closed on holidays.
All right.
If you wish to leave a comment on pending legislation for the governor, please press 1. Please provide your name, phone number, email, and zip code along with your comment. Please press 1 now. To return to the previous menu, press 9.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello? Okay. I wish to talk to some live person, but that's okay. My name is luca-zanna from Mojave County, Arizona, 928-263-0071. That's the public number anyway. My concern with the governor is, please, understand that you cannot start to rewrite the Bill of Rights, especially when it comes down to due process and the Second Amendment. This piece of legislation that you try to shove through the throat of us, citizens of the Arizona, is come really from a book of Nazi Germany. So, you know, as a former Republican, I'm not surprised because I'm a former Republican. I'm kind of disgusted with you phony rhinos. But regardless that, dear Governor Ducey, I'm disgusted with you because you're really supposed to know better. What you're trying to do here is completely against violation of a basic constitutional rights that they're not even constitution, they are human American rights. If you have any question, I'd like to hear from you, or maybe one of your proteges or people working for you, 928-263-0071, and I will try to do everything I can to spread this information, what you're trying to do to the citizen of Arizona, and I will spend every dime I have left in my wallet to throw you out of office at the next election. Regardless, I love you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Luca-Zanna from Mojave County. Very, very disappointed former Republican voter. Okay. That was my 3 seconds, maybe what, 1 minute? Was I too rough? I thought it was pretty nice. I thought it was pretty nice.
I've learned to talk to governor's aides and legislators and stuff over the years in my life, and I let them know I'm disappointed without some of the more colorful words.
I was very nice. Normally, I'm much more colorful.
I know you, Luca.
Let me see.
We know each other.
You know, this wasn't too bad. But my point is this. It's up to us, guys.
You know, when I called, I also pointed out that the asset forfeiture laws, the way they've jacked up our registration fees, is just totally not the way it's done.
Thank you for calling the office.
And now you're going to talk. Let me get you on. 1 second.
Office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
I want to get somebody live here.
If you wish to leave a comment on pending legislation,
I think they're getting so many calls on this.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
Quit answering the phone.
Let's see.
Let's
see.
If you require immediate assistance, please press 3 now.
Immediate assistance.
If you are calling concerning an issue with Department of Economic Security or Department of Child Safety, please press 1.
Child safety.
If you are calling concerning an issue with any other agency, please press 2. To return to the previous menu, press 9.
I want to speak with a person. Is it
If you
possible?
are calling concerning an issue with Department of Economic Department of Child Safety, please press 1. If you are calling concerning an issue with any other agency, please press 2.
That's it.
Richard.
Okay. Let's try.
Thank you for calling the Governor's Office. How can I help you?
Yes, hi. Good afternoon. My name is luca-zanna. I'm calling from Mojave County, Arizona. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Shannon.
Nice to meet you, Sharon. I appreciate your help. I need to leave a little feedback for the governor. Is this the right number?
Yes, this would be the correct number.
Perfect. I'm so glad because, I don't like to leave messages on the answering machine. I wanted just to say a little feedback here from a voter and also somebody who escaped socialism from Italy. And I'm very happy to live in Arizona until I start to see things that the governor is trying to implement in our great state. And my feedback is about this piece of legislation that is trying to go through his influence that comes down to violating our Second Amendment and also our due process when it comes down to take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding people without even having a due process, okay? I don't remember the name of the legislation, but you know what I'm talking about. So my message is this. I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent, but I want to be sure that the governor understands there are many other independents besides Republicans, and I'm speaking for myself, of course, that they are completely disgusted by this type of action that really belongs just to some sort of maybe Venezuela-style-like socialist country, where free people of Arizona, they deserve due process, not just because somebody in some sort of a secrecy can go to the police and say, I don't like your face, and he's supposed not to have the gun rights. So we have, under Constitution, we have a Constitution from Arizona, a Constitution from our U.S. Bill of Rights, and we all deserve due process. So I want to send them the message. I'm disappointed beyond normal. I'm disgusted. That's what it translates to. And I will spend every dime I have left out of my spare change to be sure that everybody understands what this governor is trying to do to us. And I also have a radio show. My name is luca-zanna, Love, Guns, and Freedom, and I'm broadcasting this part of the interview on the air. And I want just to let you know that the governor needs to know that he needs to come back to the oath that he took when he became a governor. He just fulfilled the oath, defend and enforce the Constitution. Can you give me this message, please, sweetheart?
Yes, I'd be happy to pass that on to him.
Very good. Lisa, thank you very much. I wish you a great day there, okay?
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right.
Now, Steve, that sounds more like me talking.
All right. Hey, you know what? We give him a couple of things. But this is fun, guys. I'm not kidding. This is the only country that I know you can talk like that to politicians. If I was talking like that in Italy, they would send me the carabinieri right away. Yeah. Okay? This is called freedom of speech, something we still have.
Fight the cockroaches for the gruel.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, the point that we forgot sometimes, it's our fault. We forget that these people work for us. They are public servants. They are not any type of lords or kings. So the attitude that I have, always trying to be respectful, we are the boss. They are our people working for us.
Indeed, and that is encased in our documents of state. It says that a public official is not in the same class as the citizen.
Exactly. So anyway, Lisa, Ace, I want to give you the floor to leave anything on any type of message you want. You have 2 minutes. Whatever you want to say, I give you the floor.
Okay. Part of why we have lost a lot of our rights is because we're not paying attention. And a conclusion I've come to is we're so absorbed in our Facebook and Twitter accounts and all of that, gee whiz technology. And it used to be TV. We all put our brains focused on the TV, and we weren't paying attention. And as I said earlier, over the last 30 or 40 years that I've been paying a lot closer attention, we've lost so much of what this country was founded on and how it was built and how we've kept what freedoms we still have left, because we've lost a lot of our freedom.
Yeah.
You really don't have any choice unless you've got the money, you can't send your child to a school that will teach them the values and give them the tools and the skills and the thinking ability that I grew up with. Public schools weren't quite as bad as they are now. They weren't shoving all of this social engineering and stuff like that. And I learned to read, write, do arithmetic, and think for myself. And that I think my generation, by the way, I'm 60 years old, my generation, I think, was the very last generation that really was insulated from what we're seeing happening to our children today. I've read a couple articles and this is a national average, about 30% of what our children learn today doesn't have anything to do with reading, writing, arithmetic. A lot of it has to do with global warming, treating
it's programming the next generation of slaves. That's why we have people like what's her name, the Cortez socialist congresswoman from New York that has been voted. Cortez, yeah, because the point is the new generations, they are already being programmed to be the next generation drones. And I truly believe you're right, unfortunately, that unfortunately we are right now one generation away to completely domination of America without even the need of a violent confrontation, because when they have all the masses completely brainwashed, the older people, they're going to be gone, and guess what? It's it.
Perfect example.
You know?
The governor of California and the state legislature decided they were going to, not just a little bit, but raise gas taxes in California, fuel taxes. I don't remember the exact number, but it was up quite a bit. And then not only that, then they're hitting on your registration, which we've seen our governor and legislature try and sneak by us here. In fact, I just paid that the other day. Wow. Okay. But, in California, they had the chance to tell the state no. In the last election, it was on the ballot, and those people did not pass the law to turn that.
Of course,
back.
It's to save the
it
world.
Goes exactly what you're saying.
They are so completely, their brain is so gone that they would vote just to kill their sons, just to for whatever agenda
Against
they have.
Their own economic interest.
I mean, think about now they want to tax the farts. I'm not kidding, of the cows, the gas emission. I mean, this is out of a comic book. It's a comedy book, but unfortunately, it's very real. All right, listen, thank you, Ace. I have to stop now. We have to continue the show. I have another guest coming, but let's be in touch. And please keep me posted if you have any news or updates from the governor office, okay?
Okay. God bless you, my friend, and have a good day.
Thank you.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Are you ready to get lost in lust? Immerse yourself in a thunderstorm of emotions and passion. Order Gianluca Zanna's new book, Perfectly Crazy, 69 erotic visions and love poems with forbidden erotic Italian phrases. Perfectly Crazy by Gianluca Zanna. Available all over the world at Amazon.com and www.zanna.us.
Here we go, another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. The show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. We talk about guns, we talk about freedom. At the end of the day, I really believe that the ultimate freedom is to be independent. To be also independent when it comes down to the opportunity to defend yourself. Firearms are great. I believe in America, especially in the state of Arizona, we are blessed because really we have what is called the right to keep and bear arms. But sometimes, you don't have a chance to reach that firearm. Maybe you cannot even have the firearm. Maybe some places you can't. I always say at the end, regardless of which firearm you have, you are the weapon. Starting from your mindset, your combat mindset, your brain, and of course your body is the first weapon. Then, of course, it's good to have also, a blade or even better, maybe a gun. But at the end of the day, we must learn, in my humble opinion, how to defend ourselves using our body. I'm kind of a student. I study everything. I like to learn everything. And the last, time of my life here, Kingman Force on Force, I started to really research and study the art, because it's an art, and also a science of self-defense. Among the different type of, techniques, because I don't like martial arts. I'm not into arts when it comes down to defending yourself. I don't do this for sport. It's a necessity. It's a practical aspect. I stumbled, that's pretty much been around for a while, but in the martial arts that is technically, as I said, is mostly a self-defense technique or a system called Krav-Maga. And, I believe that things happen for a reason. I found also a very interesting man from the other side of the U.S., in New Jersey, who is a professional Krav-Maga instructor. And also we're going to have him here at Kingman Force on Force at the end of March to have a great seminar to try really to understand the foundations of Krav-Maga. Now, as I said before to Greg, I don't want to destroy his last name. I'm terrible at that. Let me just announce him as Greg, and he can introduce himself. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luca, and I wanted to thank you for inviting me to be part of your radio show. My name is Greg Jawanski. I'm a Krav-Maga instructor from New Jersey. I'm also a national director of Krav-Maga Federation AC under Alan Cohen from Israel. He's one of the best Krav-Maga instructors in the world. And I'm a founder of Performance Krav-Maga schools in New Jersey. We teach self-defense. We teach Krav-Maga. Krav-Maga means contact combat. It's a self-defense system that was developed for IDF, Israel Defense Forces, and later on adapted for law enforcement and civilian needs. So it's a very practical system that is designed, basically for self-defense.
Yes, and let me tell you something, because, as I said, there are a lot of Krav-Maga out there, but your organization is linked directly to the founder, because, at least the foundation came from Israel. And give a little bit briefly the history of Krav-Maga, because many people may know it, maybe may not know it. Please, go ahead.
Sure. So the beginnings of Krav-Maga are in pre-World War II, reaching to Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. There was a wrestler and boxer named Imi Lichtenfeld. And when the Nazis started to attack Jews, he decided to form a resistance. Quickly he found out that what he learned so far, it didn't work on the street against, multiple attackers, against sticks, against knives. So he started to develop a new system, and this is really beginnings of Krav Maga. When State of Israel was formed, Imi Lichtenfeld was asked to lead hand-to-hand combat for IDF, for Israel Defense Forces. And he did that for 17 years. During that time, Krav Maga, that's where the Krav Maga got its name. It was developed, it was approved, it was proven to be effective in the battlefield. And for all this time was a top secret. Nobody knew about Krav-Maga except for IDF. In 1964, he retired from army, and he opened his school in Israel, in Netanya, started teaching civilians, and that's when Krav-Maga started take its new form when it was suitable for civilians and also was taught to law enforcement. So right now, the Krav-Maga is being taught to special forces, special units, FBI, Navy SEALs, of course in Israel to Mossad, Lotar, and everybody who needs to learn very effective self-defense system.
Greg, I can ask you something.
And,
can I ask you something,
sure.
Greg? When did you start? You know, every one of us has a moment of, initiation, a journey when it begins.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you, when did you start your journey with Krav-Maga?
I started Krav-Maga about 10 years ago, and my background is judo. I trained judo when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had injury to my back, so I had to stop training in judo, and I thought that was my martial arts years were over until I saw a program on TV about Krav-Maga, and I was just amazed how effective it was, how simple it was to learn, and I decided to start training. So I found a nearby school. Then I've met Master Alan Cohen from Israel, and I started learning Krav-Maga directly under him.
I see. And this is very interesting because, after all, if you think about it, Krav-Maga is a mix of probably the most practical and efficient techniques taken from different self-defense systems, because if you think about it, there is some boxing, there is some grappling, of course, there is a little bit of everything, but it's all simplified and made almost in an instinctive way that you don't need to think, okay, what am I doing now? Number 3, number 4. I mean, yes, there are some sequences to learn, but it's much more instinctive and practical. And also another thing, technically here we're talking about fighting for your life. This is not fighting for a taekwondo or some sort of a judo competition. We are not on the dojo. We are not on the soft ground. Here it's about you live or die. And that's pretty much the philosophy of Krav-Maga because after all it was used and is still used by people who are on the battlefield. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you brought up. It's a real self-defense system. It's designed to save your life. And at the beginning of your show, you mentioned about use of firearms and sometimes not being able to go to your firearm as quickly as you would like to save your life. And you might be, grabbed from the back. You might be, in a situation when somebody's too close. They have a knife. Krav-Maga deals with all these problems, so it really complements firearms training. So, for example, if you put in all your safety just to owning and carrying firearm, then you're giving yourself a sense of false safety, because there might be situations where you won't be able to go to your firearm right away, and you have to deal with the problem at hand first, and then enjoy your firearm.
Yeah.
So it really complements what you do. And together, knowing some firearms training, knowing some Krav Maga, you can be very, very efficient, and that's where you can be safe.
And it is very true because everything between what I call breathing distances or even colloquial distance, from 0 to 5 yards. I mean, good luck. If somebody wants to jump on you and you have your gun concealed in your holster, especially at 3 o'clock position, any position, doesn't matter. Probably that's the faster, but still, you're not going to be able even to deliver what you need to do. So it is necessary. I really believe it's a must to also learn, especially for close contact initiation of a fight, basic foundation of empty hands. And in this case, I truly believe that Krav Maga is the best, in my humble, no opinion. This is a fact. I try to look at different things with an open mind, and I do research. That's my job. I like to study. I'm kind of a, forever student, I call myself. And I really like the fact that this system is being experimented by thousands, I say millions at this point, of human beings that are trying to use it to defend themselves and to, deliver what they need to do, win the fight. Question, I know you're heading out back to location of the father of Krav-Maga. You're going to Israel, am I right or wrong?
Yes, actually, tomorrow morning I'm flying to Israel. We're going there for international Krav-Maga training course. It's going to be about a week of training. Of course, we're hoping to find some time also to, sightseeing and doing some other activities. But, but it's going to be a great training that's going to be provided by my teacher, Master Alan Cohen. And
so it's Mr. Cohen does this.
Just like you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just like you, I like to learn. I'm always a student. Sometimes I'm an instructor, but most of the time I'm a student. And especially that Krav Maga is what we call open system and always evolves.
Yes.
It never stays the same. That's because, the tactics of the terrorists change, the weapons change, the length of the weapons changes. So we have to adapt. We can't just stay with same things that we've learned 10 years ago, because there are different situations, there are different tactics that we're going to have to deal with. And that's why, you never stop learning Krav Maga. Once you're in it, and, you will want to do it.
Yes.
Because it's always interesting. There's always new aspects. There's always, new problem to solve. And it's never boring.
Yes, and it's true. By the way, I was studying a little bit about also it all evolves, because the mentality is every time you can bring something that can work, you test it, you have an open mind, and you test and you verify it, and then at that point you can assimilate into your curriculum, to your system. This is not about ego. Okay, my system is better than yours. I think the goal here is to provide the best, most updated system. And that's what I like about Krav Maga. It's an open system when it comes down to self-improvement, That's great. I mean, sometimes, you go with more traditional martial arts. Hey, that's the way it is. Don't do it differently. Otherwise, they're going to, send a letter from Japan or China that they're going to excommunicate you, Just kidding. But anyway, that's the point. This is an open combat system. Now, listen, let's talk about briefly, we have the 30th of March, 2 days at Kingman Force, a great seminar. I'm very humble and proud that we were able to find each other through Facebook, and because I really want to start, my facility, mostly firearms. Now we do also empty hands, but now finally we would like to start to implement Krav Maga, at least a good foundation. So we're going to have this first seminar with you, 30th and 31st, I guess, of March 2019, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Briefly, what we're going to talk about and what you're going to teach us or share with us.
Okay, so it's going to be very intense. So we're going to learn a lot. We're not going to spend, a lot of time just socializing. It's all about training. Of course, everything is going to be explained, but we have a lot of room to cover. We call it comprehensive training seminar, and there's also going to be instructor certification for some people. But basically what we need to do is cover about 70% of our curriculum. So it's going to be a lot. We're going to start with basic self-defense, defense against punches, kicks, grabs, guillotines, chokes. This is very important. It's a real self-defense. It can happen on the street. And it does happen a lot of times. It happens a lot of times to women. This is how they get kidnapped. So it's a very important aspect to cover. Another thing that we're going to cover is weapon defense. So we're going to spend significant amount of time on learning how to defend against the knife attacks and the knife threats. Even if you have your firearm on you, you won't be able to draw if somebody attacks you with the knife from less than 20 feet away. So 20 feet sounds like a long distance, but that can be covered before you can draw your weapon.
Yes.
So we'll spend some time on knife defense. We also spend time on defense against stick attacks, which could be a baseball bat, could be a baton, could be a piece of pipe or any weapon of opportunity that was picked up right before the fight, and it's dangerous because there's the attacker has an extension of his arm, so we have to cover that as well. And of course, defense against gun threats, very important. If somebody has an opportunity to come to you closely and they have a gun, even if you have your firearm on you, they already drawn their weapon, so you cannot go for your firearm. You have to deal with that threat first. And we're going to spend time on defenses against gun threats from different angles, gun threats to the head, to the chest, to the side, to the back. It's very important to have those skills if you're serious about safety. So, like I said, we're going to cover about 70% of our curriculum. It's going to be a lot, but everybody's going to be able to learn those techniques, and hopefully, being able to implement them in real life situations. But we're hoping those real life situations never happen.
Yes. And also, the idea is always this one. We give you the foundation to start your journey because, I wish in 2 days, okay, now I'm an expert. No way. It takes years and you still never stop practicing and learning. But at least when you know how to do it correctly, you can start to have a foundation to continue your training. That's the idea, at least for me. But listen, I want to give you the floor. Normally that's what I do with my guests. You have like 2 minutes, whatever you want to say about any topic, not censorship. You got the floor. Before I let you go.
Okay. So, basically I would like to encourage everyone to, really think about, putting the safety in your own hands. You are the first line of defense. You cannot rely on the police. That never happens right away. Okay, they'll come. Maybe they'll investigate. Maybe they'll be able to help you. But you always have to be first line of your own defense. Having said that, you're responsible also for safety of your family. Training. Like Krav-Maga complements firearms training, and you really have to, become good at it. At least, to the point where you can defend yourself. And Krav-Maga is a great system because it's simple to learn. It's based on your instincts. It's based on natural movements, and then we develop the system from there. So I would say just, come to Kingman, give it a try, learn something valuable, because it may pay off later on in your life.
Very good. Lisa, I can't wait to see you. And my best to you and all the people on New Jersey. I don't want to go too much into politics, but, it's a tough place to be. At least for me, would be kind of impossible. I completely commend you that you're there in the state of New Jersey where guns, they're pretty much like, I don't know, a bad word, okay? Only criminals can have guns. That's
I know what you're saying.
That's, don't even get me with taxes, but that's another story, okay? Let's stick it with Krav-Maga. Lista, thank you very much and have a great trip for your journey, okay?
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you. I'll see you soon when you come back. Thank you. And that was Greg.
Thank you.
I think it's a great opportunity. Seriously. I mean, by the way, on my show I have everybody. I had Muslim, a crazy Muslim that, he wanted to chop the penis of Trump. I have National Socialist, I call them Nazi. I had people that don't like Zionists. I have Jews. By the way, the owner of the station is a Mr. Jew. I mean, he's a Jew. He's a great guy. He's a good friend. I mean, not friend because we never really spent time together, but he's a great guy. So, this show is not about race or religion. This show is about freedom of speech. And in this case, very good things, practical things. I don't want to start to hear on YouTube, oh, here we go, the Zionist. You can spread whatever you want, honestly. I couldn't care less, guys. But this is a great opportunity. He's a great man that he knows his stuff. It's level 7 of Krav-Maga instructor. And if you don't like, other things about, the story with Israel and the Palestine. I'm really out of this. I'm an American. I'm here as an American person. And my goal is to live my life in America, okay? Somebody wants to support Palestine, send them the check. If you want to support Israel, send them the check. That's my bottom line. So I don't want to mix now into this situation politics, because at the end of the day, this is a great opportunity. This is about learning how to defend yourself. And I know many people, have a problem with the Zionist movement and Israel. That's fine. On my show, you can come and talk about everything you want. I'm not going to tell you what to say or not to say. But please, on this topic of this interview, let's leave it just to Krav-Maga if you can, okay? I appreciate it. Anyway, Greg, for me, I never met him, but he's a great guy. Sounds very professional, and we're trying to share some great information to people who want to learn how to defend themselves. Little break. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-Zanna. Do not go away.
Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee.
All right, we're almost at the end of today's show. This coughing, this sense of cold, flu, whatever you want to call it, doesn't go away. I'm telling you, though, something's not normal. Like the weather that out of the blue you see completely record cold in the Mid-East, borders with Canada, even not that far. I mean, even just in the center of America, we have like temperatures that they are cooler than the North Pole. Seriously. We are living in a very interesting times. And this is not by accident. They've been playing with the weather all the last 20, 30 years. We know that. But now it's on the open. I told you. And I tell you, whatever they spray in the air, when you look at the sky, and you see all these planes now, they're admitting it now. It's on MSN, mainstream media, different news outlets. They say that they have to do that. They have to dim the sun to save the planet. Now, what they're doing, they're destroying the planet. They're creating this sort of completely unnatural temperatures, but more important, they will destroy life. Without sun, there is no life, don't forget. Like almost the movie The Road, if you ever watched that, look, there was no sun, there was no more life, no birds, no plants, and that's what they're doing to us. If this cycle can be made somehow irreversible, or at least to a point that they cannot control it, we're going to have a destruction. And that's, I really believe, what they want to do. They need to annihilate 90% of the people, and that's one of the ways they will do it, along with vaccines and wars, of course, and abortions. Now, I want to talk about abortions, but I need to do a show just with this information. What is coming down to is not just abortion. This is completely now on the open mass murder. That's what it is. And they're coming out. It's now the law. That's ridiculous. When you think about it, just because somebody can put it in writing and put a stamp of the government, now it's become legal, become okay to murder an innocent 9 months old human being. That's what it is down to. So it's disgusting. It is something that we need to talk. At least I have to talk, because I feel like the minimum I can do, speak for them. And more important, if I'm silent, I feel guilty. That's the part. I feel part of this. And I tell you, this is just part of the agenda, but the big picture is exactly the complete annihilation of humanity. And wherever is left, they're going to be pretty much left the idiots, the one that they will serve the New World Order. Now they think, what do you think all these people that are getting sick now? When you start to see at this spray, look at these planes spraying these substances, that we have no idea. I mean, we have some ideas, but not really the details. Even just the one that we know, these metals, this aluminum, this barium. I mean, this stuff, when it comes from the sky, it comes down, we breathe it. It's like you're in a room full of pesticides or things that they don't belong to a human body. So the point is, think about it. We are breathing complete poison. And I'm not surprised that our immune system is going down and we start to get sicker and sicker. I'm telling you, this is something that I really want to reach out everybody. I tell you, the only reason why I'm still on the show, because even if I can wake up 2 more people out there and what's going on, I truly tell you, this is something we have to try everything we can, because the face of reality that we're going to face, us and our next generation, is going to be very, 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 very terrifying. Okay? So anyway, beside that, talk to you next Sunday, God's willing. And if you want to please support the show, I appreciate it. As I said, just a guy, I'm trying to do my best. If you like my songs, go to www.zanna.us or straight to Amazon or iTunes, put my name, Gianluca Zanna, download any of my songs for just 99 cents. Or, of course, you can get my books, go to Amazon, put my name. I put in new books coming, but meanwhile you can still have my erotic poems book, Perfectly Crazy, and all the other things I do. So I appreciate your help, okay? Now, God's will, I'll talk to you next Sunday. I gotta go get a drink here. I need some red wine. This nose is really running bad. Ciao.
Looking from the sky, the people run to survive. New horizons beyond my eyes. New frontiers I will find. I'm flying on the devil's wings. I'm riding on the devil's side. Let me fly on the devil's wings. Let me fly. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. Just let me. Na 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 na. Somebody will die and someone else will see the sky. The baby is walking alone. The last flower is born. Tonight the love is dead, and tomorrow a woman will be sad. I'm flying on the devil's wings. Riding on the devil's side. I'm flying